Dear viewers, welcome to the Historical Figures channel. Today we bring you the greatest Egyptian pharaoh in Egypt's ancient history, King Ramses II. Ramses II is one of the kings of the pharaohs who ruled Egypt. He is the third pharaoh of the 19th dynasty and ruled Egypt for at least 66 years. When he took office, he was 14 years old and died in my early 90s. He was named the great-grandfather and was distinguished by leading many military campaigns. Ramses II is attributed to his father Seti I and his mother, Queen Taya and Tama Eseler. He is the co-ruler of his father. She participated in many of his father's campaigns against Nubia, the Levant and Libya. He was only 14 years old. He was appointed in charge of projects related to the extensive restoration process in addition to building a new palace in Orius, and after meeting his father he died in 1290 BC after him and ruled the country for a long period of time. He married many women, the most famous Prince Nefertari. He gave birth to many children and gave them many important positions. Many of his children died while he was alive. His 13th son was appointed crown prince after him. Ramses II succeeded him by his father Seti I in power in 1290 BC, and some factors helped him impose his fame on history. First, his father's participation in government led him to gain military and political experience. Secondly, a young man who was full of enthusiasm and many hopes came to power. Third, his reign was 67 years. Fourth, he inherited from his father a strong state with great wealth. Fifth, he found support from his civilian and military men for all his actions. Sixth, he responded to the two people, the largest military force in his era. Seventh, he was passionate about immortalizing his memory and glorifying himself. Therefore, he built a large number of temples, palaces and statues, more than any ruler who preceded him. The achievements of Ramses II. Ramses II established many achievements in the first phase of his reign, such as the construction of cities, temples and many important monuments. In addition, it has established the city of Ramses in the Nile Delta as the capital of his state and a main base for the campaigns he will launch against Syria. This city was built on the remnants and ruins of Aras, the official capital of the Hyksos. During the reign of Ramses II, the Egyptian army numbered about 100,000 men. It was a huge force that it used to strengthen Egyptian influence. One of his most famous battles is the Battle of Kadesh Sania in 1274 BC, which is one of the greatest military battles. He also led several campaigns south of the waterfall. The first was to Nubia. Ramses II established the city of Bara Miso in the east of the delta, from which he managed his battles with the Hittites. During his reign, Egypt knew the presence of some elements that used to play their role to collect information about the enemy. In 1273 BC, he fought the Battle of Kadesh, which is part of the ongoing war between the Egyptians and the Hittites, trying to extend influence and expand. It is considered the largest battle in history in terms of the number of war wheels. It reached 6,000 war wheels that were met by a group of armies of more than 20 countries from the center of the Anatolian Plateau and North Syria, united against Egypt's army until they were able to destroy an entire wing. He was a member of the Egyptian army, but he survived death and maintained most of his army until Egypt. However, these two sides agree that it is one of the great battles. It seems that the prestige of the Egyptian army has been shaken after Kadesh's position. The Canaanites began to revolt against Egyptian rule, with the support of the Hittites, Egypt's first enemy, but succeeded in achieving a victory in 1271 BC. They then headed to Jerusalem, Jericho, Damascus and beyond Kadesh. Ramses II went through a seizure campaign and built a temple where he recorded his victories and then moved to Libya. Ramses II gained great fame because of the Battle of Kadesh, which was one of the most successful battles in which he won over Egypt's enemies. One of his most important military victories is the naval battle of Sherdun against pirates who attacked Egyptian cargo ships in the Mediterranean. He fought his first campaign against Syria. During the 4th year of his reign, he recorded this history on a stone that is still located near Beirut and was influenced by a Palestinian prince in Egypt. One of the words of the king of Egypt, Ramses II, in the Epic of Kadesh, is fighting against the Hittites at crucial and difficult moments. I call you and I warn you, Father Amun, and I am among many foreigners I do not know, and I have become alone. There is no one around me. I am a guard for myself and I have no one. Many soldiers have left me and no one has paid attention to me from the imagination of tea and club on my men's vehicles. No one will answer my call. I call them on, believing that you are more useful than 1 million infantry and hundreds of thousands of warriors. However, I call you great. These statues are surrounded by smaller standing statues embodying his mother, the king and his wife, and smaller statues depicting the king's sons and daughters standing between the king's feet. An earthquake occurred in ancient times that affected the 2 statues surrounding the entrance to the temple, resulting in the fall of the upper part of the southern statue above the entrance to the temple. A huge promenade contains the name of King Ramses II and includes both sides of the entrance on the left. An inscription that includes the title of the king and then the architectural parts of the temple to the Holy of Holies. The sun is baptized on the statue of Ramses II in the temple of Abu Simbel twice a year, on the day of his coronation on February 22nd and his birthday on October 15. An Egyptian-Hittite peace treaty was officially signed in 1258 BC between the Egyptians and the Hittites. The treaty is engraved on an ashtray tablet and we have received a copy of clay and is displayed at the Antiquities Museum in Istanbul. A replica of the Kadesh Treaty hangs at the permanent headquarters of the United Nations as the first written and documented peace treaty in history. Recital versions are engraved on clay tablets. Egyptian copies are written on papyrus papers and were also written by King Ramses II on the walls of Karnak Temple and Ramesseum Temple. Our episode today has come to an end. If you like the video, click on the like button, follow the channel and subscribe to it to receive more special clips of great people throughout history.